All right, tonight we're going on a journey to understand one of Hinduism's most powerful and atmospheric festivals, Maha Shivaratri. We're going to explore the ancient stories, the sacred rituals, and really get to the heart of what this great night of Shiva is all about.
So let me start by asking you a question. Have you ever wondered why millions of people all across the globe would choose to stay awake for one entire night? Not for a party, but for prayer and celebration right until the sun comes up? What's that all about?
Well, the answer is Maha Shivaratri. This is an annual festival, a night that's just buzzing with spiritual energy, and it's all dedicated to the Hindu deity Lord Shiva. So here's our roadmap. First, we'll look at the cosmic timing. What makes this the Great Night of Shiva? Then we'll dive into the amazing stories behind the festival. After that, we'll explore its spiritual side, how it's seen as a path to awakening. And finally, we'll get into the sacred rituals people practice. Sound good? Let's get started.
Okay, first things first, what exactly is the Great Night of Shiva? Well, it all kicks off with a very specific and very powerful date in the cosmic calendar.
The name itself, Maha Shivaratri, is pretty straightforward. It literally means the Great Night of Shiva. But the timing is everything. It happens on the 14th night of the Krishna Paksha. That's the waning phase of the moon, in the Hindu month of Phalguna. You know, that dark night just before the new moon? It's believed that the veil between our world and the spiritual world is at its thinnest then, making it a super potent time for spiritual connection.
But you know, the timing is just one piece of the puzzle. To really get why this night is so important, we have to look at the stories behind it, the big why that inspires millions to stay awake all night.
One of the biggest stories is that this night celebrates a divine wedding. It's the sacred union of Lord Shiva, who represents pure consciousness, and the goddess Parvati, who's all about divine energy. And their marriage isn't just a simple love story, it's a symbol of the perfect balance between the spiritual and the material worlds.
The celebration isn't just about a marriage, though. It's also about cosmic energy and motion. This is the night when Shiva is said to perform the Tandava. And this isn't just any dance, it's a performance that literally shapes the entire universe.
So the Tandava is this incredibly powerful symbol. It represents the endless cycle of the universe. In this one dance, Shiva channels the energy of creation, the energy of preservation, and finally, the energy of destruction. And that destruction isn't a bad thing. It's all about clearing away the old to make room for the new. It's literally the rhythm of the cosmos. There's another huge story tied to this night. It's called the Lingodbhava. This is the moment when Shiva is said to have revealed his true infinite nature. And he didn't appear in a human-like form. No, he appeared as this massive, endless pillar of pure light, so huge that other gods couldn't even find where it began or where it ended.
And that event, the Lingodbhava, is what's represented by the Shiva Lingam you see in temples. Now this is really important. The lingam isn't meant to be a literal object. It's a symbol. It's an abstract way to represent that eternal, formless divine energy that's everywhere and has no beginning and no end.
So we've heard these epic, cosmic stories, but what does it all mean for an individual? For you or me? Well, this is where Maha Shivaratri becomes a very personal path to awakening.
Yogic traditions have this fascinating take on it. They say that the way the planets are aligned on this specific night creates a natural upward surge of energy in the human body. Think of it like getting a spiritual tailwind. It just makes it an incredibly powerful and supportive night to meditate and look inward.
And why does that matter? Well, for devotees, observing this night with real sincerity is believed to bring some pretty incredible benefits. We're talking about things like cleansing past karma, finding inner peace, even increased prosperity, and most importantly, a real chance for some deep, accelerated spiritual growth.
So how do people actually plug into all this spiritual energy? Well, it all comes down to the sacred rituals. This is where those ancient beliefs are put into practice in a really powerful, personal way.
It often starts with a Vrat, which is a devotional fast. Some people might not eat or drink anything at all, while others do a partial fast with just simple foods. The idea isn't about depriving yourself. It's an act of discipline, a way to purify the body and mind to get ready for the long night ahead.
And that brings us right back to our first question, doesn't it? The Jaagaran, that's the all-night vigil. Devotees literally stay awake, often keeping their spines erect to symbolize a state of higher awareness. They spend the time in temples or at home, praying, chanting, and just soaking in the sacred stories of Shiva.
Now at the very heart of the night's worship is the Abhishekam.
This is a really beautiful and symbolic ritual where they ceremonially bathe the Shiva Lingam, that symbol of formless divine energy we were just talking about. So what do they use for this sacred bath? Well, the offerings are simple, but each one is full of meaning. Milk is for purity and nourishment. Honey represents a sweet, blissful life. Water is for cleansing the soul. And most famously, they offer Bilva leaves, which are considered incredibly sacred to Lord Shiva. Every single offering is like a prayer in physical form. And all through the night, the air is just thick with the sound of chanting. The main mantra you'll hear is Om Namah Shivaya, which is a really powerful invocation. Temples become these vibrant hubs of energy, with special ceremonies and singing that goes on right until dawn. So really what this night does is create this incredible blend of the universal and the individual. It connects these huge cosmic stories about creation and divine love with these deeply personal acts of devotion like fasting and chanting. It's where the cosmos meets the self.
And that kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? In our modern, non-stop, fast-paced world that's all about moving and doing, what can we learn from a tradition that dedicates an entire night to being still, to being awake, and to looking inward? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.